Okay, the chili's done. Let's go caroling. Welcome and Merry Christmas, everyone. Take a deep breath and sing out loud and strong. We begin with One Baby Jesus, sung to the tune of the 12 Days of Christmas.
On the first day of Christmas, my mama gave to me one baby Jesus sleeping peacefully. On the second day of Christmas, my mama gave to me two parents smiling and one baby Jesus sleeping peacefully. On the third day of Christmas, my mama gave to me three wise men giving, two parents smiling, and a baby Jesus sleeping peacefully. On the fourth day of Christmas, my mama gave to me four camels plodding, three wise men giving, two parents smiling, and baby Jesus sleeping peacefully. On the fifth day of Christmas, my mama gave to me five golden stars, four camels plodding, three wise men giving, two parents smiling, and baby Jesus sleeping peacefully. On the sixth day of Christmas, my mama gave to me six donkeys bearing five golden stars, four camels plodding, three wise men giving, two parents smiling, and a baby Jesus sleeping peacefully. On the seventh day of Christmas, my mama gave to me seven shepherds kneeling, six donkey braying, five golden stars, four camels plodding, three wise men giving, two parents smiling, and baby Jesus sleeping peacefully. On the eighth day of Christmas, my mama gave to me eight angels singing, seven shepherds kneeling, six donkey braying, five golden stars, four camels plodding, three wise men giving, two parents smiling, and baby Jesus sleeping peacefully. On the ninth day of Christmas, my mama gave to me nine lambs converting, eight angels singing, six donkey braying, five golden stars, four camels plodding, three wise men giving, two parents smiling, and baby Jesus sleeping peacefully. On the 10th day of Christmas, my mama gave to me 10 cow mooing, 9 lambs converting, 8 angels singing, 7 shepherds kneeling, 6 donkey braying, 5 golden stars, 4 camels plodding, 3 wise men giving, 2 parents smiling, and a baby Jesus sleeping peacefully. On the 11th day of Christmas, my mama gave to me 11 doves are cooing, 10 cows are mooing, 9 lambs converting, 8 angels sing, 7 shepherds kneeling, 6 donkey braying, 5 golden stars, 4 camels plodding, 3 wise men giving, 2 parents smiling, and baby Jesus sleeping peacefully. On the 12th day of Christmas, my mama gave to me 12,000 kisses, 11 doves are cooing, 10 cows are mooing, 9 lambs converting, 8 angels singing, 6 donkeys braying, 5 golden stars, 4 camels plodding, 3 wise men giving, 2 parents smiling, and baby Jesus sleeping peacefully. Oh boy. Wait.
Everyone ready? Here comes a Christmas favorite. Good King Wenceslas. Good King Wenceslas once looked out on the feast of Stephen, when the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even. Brightly shone the moon that night, though the frost was cruel, when a poor man came in sight, gathering winter fuel.
Hither, page, and stand by me, if thou know'st it telling, yonder peasant, who is he, where and what his dwelling?
Sire, he lives a good league hence, underneath the mountain, right against the forest fence, by St. Agnes' fountain.
Bring me flesh and bring me wine, bring me pine logs hither, now and I shall see him dine, when we bear them thither.
Page and monarch forth they went together, through the rude wind's wild lament, and the bitter weather.
Sire, the night is darker now, and the wind blows stronger. Fails my heart, I know not how, I can go no longer.
Mark my footsteps, good my page, tread thou in them boldly. Thou shalt find the winter's rage, freeze thy blood less coldly.
In his master's steps he trod, where the snow lay dinted. Heat was in the very sod, which the saint had printed.
Therefore, Christian men, be sure, wealth or rank possessing, ye who now will bless the poor, shall yourselves find blessing.
It's time for Jingle Bells.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. Oh, what fun it is to sing a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Merry Christmas! From our house to yours, blessings and joy for this Christmas.
This one's a little different. This is a song for a winter's night. It's a Gordon Lightfoot tune. Me, 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 me.
What, at the beginning?
Yeah.
What?
Me, 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 me.
The lamp is burning low upon my tabletop. The snow is softly falling. The air is still in the silence of my room. I hear your voice softly calling. If I could only have you near to breathe a sigh or two, I would be happy just to hold the hands I love on this winter night with you. The smoke is rising in the shadows overhead. My glass is almost empty. I read again between the lines upon the page the words of love you sent me. If I could know within my heart then you were lonely too. I would be happy just to hold the hands I love on this winter night with you. The fire is dying now, my lamp is growing dim. The shades of night are lifting. The morning light steals across my window pane, where webs of snow are drifting. If I could only have you near, to breathe a sigh or two, I would be happy just to hold the hands I love on this winter night with you, and to be once again with you.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Warm up those vocals. Go Tell It on the Mountain is on deck next.
Go tell it on the mountain, over the hill and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountains that Jesus Christ is born. While shepherds gather watching, or silent flocks by night, behold throughout the heavens there shone a holy light. Go tell it on the mountains, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountains that Jesus Christ is born. The shepherds feared and trembled when low above the earth rang out the angels' chorus that hailed the Savior's birth. Go tell it on the mountains, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountains that Jesus Christ is born. Down in the lowly manger, the humble Christ was born, and God sent us salvation that blessed Christmas morn. Go tell it on the mountains, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountains that Jesus Christ is born. Go tell it on the mountains, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountains that Jesus Christ is born.
This is a Christmas story written by Selma Lagerlof in the early 1900s. It's called The Holy Night. When I was 5 years old, I had such a great sorrow. I hardly know if I had a greater since then. It was then that my grandmother died. Up to that time, she used to sit every day on the corner sofa in her room and tell stories. I remember grandmother told story after story from morning till night, and we children sat beside her, quiet, still, and we listened. It was a glorious life. No other children had such happy times as we did. It isn't much that I recollect about my grandmother. I remember she had very beautiful snow white hair, and she stooped when she walked, and she was always knitting a stocking. And I even remember that when she'd finished a story, she used to lay her hands on my head and say, "All this is true as that I see you and you see me." I also remember she could sing songs, but this she did not do every day. Then I remember a little prayer she taught me and a verse of a hymn. But of all the stories she told me, only one of them do I remember so well I would be able to repeat it. It's a little story about Jesus' birth. It was Christmas Day, and all the folks had driven to the church except Grandmother and I. I believe we were alone in the house. We had not permitted to go along because one of us was too old and one of us was too young. And we were both sad because we had not been taken to Mass and hear the singing and see the Christmas candles. But as we sat there in our loneliness, Grandmother began to tell me this story. There was a man who went out in the dark night to borrow live coals to kindle a fire. He went from hut to hut and knocked. "Dear friends, help me," he said. "My wife has just given birth to a child, and I must make a fire to warm her and the little one." But it was way in the night, and people were asleep. No one replied. No one opened their door. So the man walked and walked, and at last he saw the gleam of a fire a long way off. And he went in that direction, and he saw that the fire was burning in the open. And there were a lot of sheep sleeping around the fire. And an old shepherd was watching over his flock. When the man who wanted to borrow the fire came up to the sheep, he saw 3 big dogs laying asleep at the shepherd's feet. All 3 dogs awoke when the man approached and opened their great jaws as though they wanted to bark, but not a sound was heard. The man noticed the hair on the back of the dog's neck stood up, and their sharp white teeth glistened in the firelight, and they dashed toward him. He felt one of them bite his leg and one his hand, and one clung to his throat. But their jaws and teeth would not obey them, and the man did not suffer any harm at all. Now the man wished to get closer to the fire, but the sheep lay back to back, so close against one another he couldn't pass them. So the man stepped on their backs, and he walked over them up to the fire, and not one of the sheep moved or woke up. When the man had almost reached the fire, the shepherd looked up. And he was a surly old man who was unfriendly and harsh to everyone. And when he saw the strange man coming, he seized his long spiked staff, which he always held in his hand when he tended his flock, and he threw it at the man. And the staff came right toward him, but before it reached him, it turned off to one side and whizzed past him far out into the meadow. Now the man came up to the shepherd and said to him, "Good man, help me and lend me a little fire. My wife has just given birth to a child, and I must make a fire to warm her and the little one." The shepherd would rather have said no, but when he pondered the dogs couldn't hurt the man, and the sheep had not run from him, and the staff had not wished to strike him, the shepherd was a little afraid, and he dared not deny the man what he had asked. Take as much as you need," said the shepherd. But by then the fire was nearly burnt out. There were no logs or branches left, only big heaps of live coals. And the stranger had neither spade or shovel wherein he could carry the red-hot coals. When the shepherd saw this, he said again, "Take as much as you need," knowing the man would not be able to take any coals at all. But the man stooped and picked coals up from the ashes with his bare hands, and he laid them into his mantle. And he didn't burn his hands when he touched the coals, nor did the coals scorch his mantle. But he carried them away as if they were merely nuts or apples. And when the shepherd, who was such a cruel and hard-hearted man, saw all this, he began to wonder to himself, "What kind of night is this, when dogs do not bite? Sheep are not scared. The staff does not kill. The fire does not scorch." He called the stranger back to him and said, "What kind of night is this? How does it happen that all things show you compassion?" And the man said, "I cannot tell you if you yourself do not see it." And he wished to get on his way, so he can soon make a fire for his wife and child. But the shepherd did not wish to lose sight of the man before he had found out what all this might portend. He got up and he followed the man till they came to the place where he lived. Then the shepherd saw the man didn't have so much as a hut to dwell in, but his wife and babe were lying in a mountain grotto where there was nothing except cold and naked stone walls. And the shepherd thought that perhaps this poor innocent child might freeze to death right there in the grotto. And although he was a hard man, he was touched, and he thought he would like to help. So he loosened the knapsack from his shoulder and took from it a soft white sheepskin. And he gave it to the strange man and said he should let the child sleep on it. And as soon as he showed that he too could be merciful, his eyes were opened, and he saw what he had not been able to see before, and he heard what he could not have heard before. For he saw all around him a ring of silver-winged angels, and each held a stringed instrument, and all sang in loud tones that tonight a Savior was born who would redeem the world from its sin. And then he understood how all things were so happy this night that they didn't want to do anything wrong. And it was not only around the shepherd that there were angels, but he saw them everywhere. They sat inside the grotto. They sat outside on the mountain. They flew under the heavens. They came marching in great companies. And as they passed, they paused and cast a glance at this newborn babe. There was such jubilation and gladness, and songs and music was playing. And all this the shepherd saw in the dark night, whereas before he could not see anything. He was so happy because his eyes had been opened, and he fell on his knees and thanked God. What the shepherd saw, we might also see. For the angels fly down from heaven every Christmas Eve, if we could only see them. You must remember this, for it is as true as that I see you and you see me. It is not revealed by the light of lamps or candles. It does not depend on the sun or the moon. But that which is needful is that we have such eyes as can see the glory of God. Thanks be to God on this wonderful night.
in me.
'Twas the week before Christmas, when all through the church our families and friends came with their song and their verse. We sang and we played, we took pictures and prayed. Come pastor, come jingles, come tenors and tunes, come strings and keys, and we'll sing like the loons. We give thanks and our blessings to all who hear. We give voice to our hopes, and we are glad you are near. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.